Hello YouTubers, and welcome along to the review video of the iPhone 5. Now this is the 32GB model, so let's start with the hardware. As you can see, it's a whole new design made of aluminium now instead of glass back, so we've got the two-tone glass and then the aluminium slate effect kind of back. Also on the back you've got the camera sapphire crystal cover on the camera apparently. It's supposed to be super hard, second only to diamond, which I find hard to believe. It's LED flash just like before, the Apple logo, all the gubbins at the bottom there. On the bottom we have the new dock connector and of course the headphone jack. Headphone jack's been moved from the top. I don't know really how I feel about it. Doesn't really affect me too much. I guess when you've got both these plugged in it's going to be easier to have them both at the bottom. The dock connector is really nice and really nice fit. Here we go. So it can go in either way around. It's a new 16-pin one rather than the old 32-pin, or 30-pin I think it was. So it can go in either way around. A nice little clunk and it's in. Bit of a tug and it comes out. Let's flip it over. Exactly the same the other way around. Absolutely no difference. It's quite tough to get out actually, which is probably a good thing. On the left we have the volume buttons, nice and solid as they always have been, and the silent switch with the red on the when it's silent. Ooh, and it vibrates of course. On the top we have the power button. On the other side we have the new nano SIM card slots, much smaller than the original. Same idea, you push your little paper clip or whatever in this gap and the tray pops out. It's really tiny. On the front you can see the camera above the earpiece, and down at the bottom, as per normal, the home button. Out of the box I was amazed by how light it was. It really is light. Even though it's bigger or taller, it's a lot thinner, and the new material it's made out of obviously makes for it being much lighter. It's only 112 grams, which really is astonishing. It's 20% lighter than the 4S, and it really makes a massive difference. It is unbelievably light. Onto the specs inside. It's a Apple A6 processor. I think that's a dual core 1.2 GHz. It's got a gigabyte of RAM. I think that's up from 512 on the 4S, although I'm not entirely sure. The camera is still 8 megapixels. Autofocus, obviously the LED light, LED flash. The front camera has been upgraded. It's now a 1.2 megapixel, so you can take 720p video on that, which is really good for FaceTime, that kind of thing. It's 30 frames per second I think on that camera, which is impressive for a front camera. The battery life of course is improved. They always seem to somehow eke out more battery life even though they're putting more and more stuff in it. It's a 1400 milliamp battery I think, possibly 1444. I should probably look that up before I did this video. Standby time is 225 hours, talk time 8 hours, and music playing is apparently 40 hours, so there you go. The screen has obviously been extended to 4 inches. As you can see, it's a lot taller than it was before. It is now 640 by 1136 pixels. It's an LED backlit IPS TFT capacitive touchscreen, as my notes on the right here say. You can 16 million colours and has a pixel density of 326 pixels per inch. That really is amazing. The Gorilla Glass version 2 is apparently the strongest version of any glass they've ever released for a phone, so it'll be interesting to see how that holds up to scratches and things. My 3DS never really got scratches on the screen, so if this is improved then that's going to be unscratchable pretty much. That's the hardware and the specs of the hardware. So if we unlock this, let me just take it off screen for your eyes not to see my PIN number. As you can see, we've got one extra row of apps. It really is. I'm not going to go into iOS 6 because it's not well publicised what the differences are. Apple Maps has had some terrible reviews, but I don't think it's that bad. I mean, it's got a long way to go to catch up with Google Maps, but it's okay. Processing wise, it is really quite snappy. I mean, it's literally amazing the speed at which it works. It's just like much quicker than the 4S and obviously my 3GS that I had before. It's a massive jump from that. Camera wise, it takes pictures quickly, instantly. Nothing. There's no lag whatsoever, which is a really good. The new panorama mode is certainly interesting. Let me take a panorama of the whole room, see if I can take you along with it. It tells you to go move iPhone continuously when taking a panorama. So you press this and it tells you to, it gives you a little arrow on where you point. So if you move up or down, or if you go too fast, see, look, it tells you to slow down. It's really handy. Slow down, move up, move down. Keep it nice and gentle all the way around. And there we go. That's created a panorama view. Just plonk the camera back where it came from. So now we can see all the way around my office. All stitched together beautifully. Nice blue wall there. That's one of the new features of the camera. I'm not entirely sure why they can't do that on the iPhone 4S, but gosh knows. One new feature of Siri is the ability to give football scores, so let's give that a go. What was the Chelsea score today? Certainly taking its time, although my internet possibly is being used for other things.
Chelsea defeated Stoke City by a score of 1-0 today.
There you go, so it's told me the football score, which is really good. Let me try another one. What was the Everton score today? Certainly thinking
Here's
about
what's
it.
coming up for Everton today.
There you go, they won 3-0. Everton won 3-0, as Siri calls it. So that is my really quick review of the hardware, mainly the hardware, a little bit of the software of the new iPhone 5. Overall, it is a super light, super slick smartphone that is a massive upgrade for a 3GS user, a massive upgrade for an iPhone 4 user. If you're an iPhone 4S user, maybe I wouldn't bother, hold off till next year, but if you want the bigger screen, why not go for it? It's really a glorious screen, it's beautiful. There's lots of older apps that are going to run in letterbox mode. Let me find one, eBay. So yeah, it's got a black bar at the top and the bottom. So that's not using the full screen, but I'm sure they will update these things. So if you have been, thank you for watching. This has been my review of the iPhone 5. Coming up next is a review of the new EarPod headphones, so please stay tuned for that. Please subscribe up here if you want to see more videos from me, and let me know what you think in the comments.